A second factor you can change to increase motivation is feeling tone, the way a student feels in the learning situation. This varies from pleasant through neutral to unpleasant. On this graph, let's look at the effects of feeling tone on motivation. Obviously, we're most motivated to do those things we enjoy, so you find pleasant feeling tones right at the top. Unpleasant feeling tones are also a great motivator, but they have adverse side effects. A student may learn it, but he'll want to leave the learning situation. So when we use slightly unpleasant feeling tones, I'm going to stand here until you do it. We need to return to pleasant tones. You did a good job, so that the student will emerge with pleasant feelings. Neutral feeling tones get you nowhere. They don't affect motivation. However, they're very useful when emotions run too high. You may need to reassure the student, don't worry about it, it's not that important. Or everybody has trouble with it at first. In this next episode, you'll recognize techniques you're already using, but now you'll be able to label them. Bob uses complimentary statements about his class to test their knowledge of simplicity.
I think you're a great class. I think you're a smart class. I think you're a fun class.
But
Is that simplistic? Do you hear simplicity?
Linda relates materials to students' own lives to make class more interesting. She also raises their level of concern, yet makes it easy for them to ask questions.
Something like that. I will ask for students to think for a minute, to give, I would say now, give an example in your own life, say, and I had modeled an example in their own life of a particular civil liberty which they thought was important. Think about that. I'll call on one of you, and you can explain that example to your neighbor, say. So I get everybody thinking, and then I ask, as this individual is say, explaining his or her own example, now everyone, think about this example. Are there any things here that you might like to add? Is there anything that really isn't right about this example? And listen for it, and I'll call on you. And so I get a lot of people adding in to the examples. So you try to set up some sort of questions which, number one, give these sorts of pleasant feeling tones. Don't put the students uptight. Don't make them feel as if they'll be stupid if they say anything at all, including things that they aren't really sure about. You end up getting students talking who really aren't quite sure of themselves, but those are the people that you want to talk to.
Okay, wie heißen Sie?
Ich heiße Sharon.
Sharon? Okay. Und
The
wie heißen
feeling
Sie?
tone is pleasant, and students feel valued when their teacher makes an obvious effort to learn their names.
Watsche? Gut. Das ist kein deutscher Name.
These teachers didn't need to use unpleasant or neutral feeling tones. Pleasant feelings encouraged effort.